In a tournament named for the greatest bowler of all time, these three heavyweights, Tommy Jones, Patrick Allen, and the legendary Pete Weber, are trying to get to the title match. But waiting for them isn't another veteran, but a young powerhouse named Ryan Ciminelli, the #1 seed who's looking for his first win on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour. It's a classic battle of youth versus experience. Here at the one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic, next. Huge crowd today in the building with the legend's name on the marquee. We welcome you to Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl, just outside of Oakland, for our live coverage of the one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic. It was an historic Saturday last weekend in Las Vegas, but there is no Tournament of Champions hangover this Sunday here in Dublin. We have three of the sport's top 50 greatest bowlers ever on the show, plus one young Italian stallion trying to win his first title. Match number one pits two future Hall of Famers in Tommy Jones versus Patrick Allen, the winner to take on the man who 2 years ago was voted the fourth greatest bowler all time, Mr. Pete Weber, and on top, 24-year-old Buffalo native Ryan Ciminelli. Joining me now, newly enshrined PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson, and there's something about a show that includes Pete Weber. You, me, our crew, the crowd, all seems to have a little extra hop in their step when Petey Dub's in the house.
Well, he's the most recognizable player on our tour and has been for a lot of years. He's been the face of the PBA. Whether you love him or you hate him, Pete Weber always makes for great television. But, you know, the thing for me, Rob, is I just love watching his bowling style. I call it poetry in motion. You couple that with that personality, hey, it just makes for great TV.
Wonderful theater. Now, he is our #2 seed, which means he will face the winner of match number one, two guys who are destined to join you, my friend, in the PBA Hall of Fame Club.
Well, the similarities between these two careers is very striking. You look at the titles, the number of majors, the back-to-back player of the years, and ironically, their last wins coming in Japan. But you're right, both future Hall of Famers. And, oh, by the way, if you're looking for a verbal war, these two can bring it as well.
That's right, lefty versus righty in match number one. Time now for the introductions of match number one.
The #4 qualifier owns 13 career PBA Tour titles, including a pair of majors. Former PBA Rookie and Player of the Year from Greenville, South Carolina, TJ Tommy Jones.
So Tommy Jones, hard-throwing righty, 13 tour titles, 2 majors. Second time we've seen him this season. That is a painful start. And speaking of pain, spare shots are a painful issue. Tommy Jones on so many levels this week.
And they have been since last summer. Tommy's going to throw it really hard at the 6-10, hope to bounce one over into the 4-7.
And an open frame to start off for Tommy Jones.
The #3 seed is a 13-time PBA Tour champion, including 2 majors. Former PBA Player of the Year from Wesley Chapel, Florida, PA, Patrick Allen.
Good to see PA for the first time this season.
Yeah, Haas.
I mentioned 2 majors, the 05 PBA World Champion and the 09 TOC titles. Patrick Allen, the lefty from just outside Tampa, Florida, Wesley Chapel. Take a look at PA's arsenal for today's broadcast.
Patrick Allen using the rain, and along with Tommy Jones, we saw both players going through several bowling balls before the start of this match. They got about 20 minutes of practice and really jogging back and forth, trying to figure out a way to trick up this very sensitive Earl Anthony.
I didn't think it rained here.
You see that one right about the 4th or 5th board, fairly straight. A little bit back end reaction there for Patrick Allen.
Made 2 TV appearances last season, finishing 2nd
Same deal.
and 3rd. This his first of the season. And has an early lead over Tommy Jones, who had an open frame in the first. Leaves the 7-pin, does the southpaw.
Patrick Allen also battling injuries the last couple of years, and one of them specifically being the knee. But boy, he really liked this shot, Rob. You see that one just feathering right around the first arrow.
Same deal, man. Same deal.
Big back end reaction there, only to leave a ringing 7, where the 4-pin just kind of slings around that 7-pin.
A strained patella tendon in his right knee, which is what has been giving him problems. That's his slide foot. So PA will take a seat with a strike and a spare. Great crowd here in Dublin for the one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic. We'll hear from Earl Anthony's widow in a couple segments. Susie Anthony in the crowd again. Wonderful, wonderful woman.
She is.
So Tommy Jones in the second off that open frame in the first.
Let it go, Tommy. Get it. What is that? Get it going away from you, slow. Jesus.
Talk about the pain that Tommy Jones is fighting, some left hip issues from kind of a freakish injury he suffered over the summer, where he slipped and landed on an audio pack that was placed on him, and he has so many issues with the spare shots, which really seems to affect him even more. And there's Tommy with the spare issue right there. And Tommy, tell us about the pain level right now on that left hip.
No, it's okay. Those are just 2 terrible shots. No excuses.
And here is a look at one of those, quote, terrible shots.
Well, because he stands up on it a little bit more at the foul line, you can see him reaching for that left hip.
And there we go. After back-to-back open frames, Jones gets a ticket on the strike train.
You heard him say, I just have to let it go. And what that means is he's got to trust the ball a little bit to the right. We even saw him earlier in practice trying to go straighter, but he decides to move in and go with something that hooks. And he's right. That shot there, he trusted. Gets this one off his hand from in to out. And all that power just shreds the rack.
The key for Jones, don't give in to the pain and throw a lot of strikes. Here is PA in the third. Strike spare.
Maybe. And you got to love it when he talks to himself after he lets go of it. I love it. PA lets go of it. He says, maybe, maybe. Well, there was no maybe about that shot.
Here's how PA got here, 13th after qualifying. Lost to your number 1 seed, Ryan Ciminelli, in the position round. He is your 3rd seed, the winner to take on Pete Weber. We begin the 4th.
Maybe, Hoss.
And again, he leaves the 7-pin.
Yeah, again on the left lane, just an ugly ringing 7 again, back-to-back on that left lane. Boy, you want to talk about making some great shots early on. That's Patrick Allen. Remember, former player of the year, major championship winner. We haven't seen him lately.
It's been a rough season.
Yeah, and it just, it's odd when, when there's television without Patrick Allen.
Best finish up until this weekend was 43rd this season. Twice he's come in 43rd.
Yeah, and there was nobody happier to get out of Las Vegas than Patrick Allen.
Really had a tough go at the World Series of Bowling, tough go at the Tournament of Champions.
Speaking of tough goes, Tommy Jones is having a tough go of things here through 3 frames. Down 25 after a pair of open frames. Back-to-back jacks for Tommy Jones.
Yeah, just a beautiful shot right there. He followed it up with that great strike in the 3rd frame using a Mission 2.0. Again, he can go to something a little stronger, but this is the one he chose. Remember, you got to dance with the one you brought, or that brought you, or something like that. Dance with the one you brung.
Maybe just carpool.
Did the game! You know, and here's the thing, Rob. He throws 3-bagger right there after 2 open frames, and he gets right back into this match because Patrick Allen was not able to string strikes.
So 3 in a row now for Jones.
Get the game!
And a little
Getting the game.
A little momentum on TJ's side now as he sits and waits for PA Haas to step up here in the 5th. Strike spare, strike spare. All 2 of those strikes have been on this right lane. 3rd time today he has left the 7-pin already.
He said he really worked hard on his footwork and his arm swing after Las Vegas. He said he feels really good. And the combination of their good footwork and swing equals a really good hand at release. All 5 shots thus far in the pocket. 2 strikes and 3 7-pins is all Patrick Allen has to show for it.
Says his approach when he walks up a lot straighter now than maybe it used to be in the past.
Which I think makes his swing more in line.
Hey, the ref. Come on.
So PA remains clean through 5.
Said his physical game was about as good as it's been in quite some time this week.
His push away was better, and he said he spent a lot of time crossovering this week with guys like Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes. So we're passing along some encouraging words about what they were seeing finally from PA this season.
Come on.
Leaves the 6-pin.
Toughest part about television, Rob, you get the practice, and a lot of times you second guess yourself as to which line and which bowling ball to throw. And a lot of times it's just making a really good educated guess. But you have to be committed to that. Patrick Allen right now, his struggles are with pin carry. He's hit the pocket every shot. He only has 2 strikes to show for it. And thus, this is a 3-pin match, even though Tommy Jones had 2 open frames early.
PA had a huge early lead due to a pair of gaps by Jones, but PA has allowed Tommy back into it. When we return, we'll tell you about Allen's odd last week at the TOC, a withdrawal, and a VIP view of the lowest score in televised PBA history. The one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic is brought to you by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. By the makers of one-a-day Men's 50-plus Advantage, the multivitamin with more of what matters. By Budweiser, great times are waiting, grab some buds. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Second consecutive season the PBA has been here at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl. We're getting set for the conclusion of match number 1 between Tommy Jones and Patrick Allen. But up now, your Lumber Liquidators Know the Wood weekly segment.
The 40-foot Earl Anthony oil pattern puts an emphasis on shot making and creativity, and none was better at it than Earl Anthony. But unlike most oil patterns, this pattern actually gets wider at the end. That forced the right-handers to play the deep inside line and the lefties to play out because the break point got so critical. But I think because the left-handers can play out, huge advantage for the southpaws today.
And two southpaws on the show. One of them right now, Patrick Allen. And then your number one seed, Ryan Ciminelli. PA on top by only 3. As Tommy Jones is set to step up and close out the 6th. PA during the break thinking about some major adjustments if Tommy is allowed to string together a few more strikes. He's looking for 4 in a row right here.
Well, Rob, here's your opening.
Hambone is in the house. That's a great sign. 4 in a row for Tommy Jones, who is right back in this and on top by 7. His first lead of the day.
And, Rob, you touched on it. Patrick Allen during the break was talking to his coach, Chris Schlemmer, in that depending on what Tommy does here, these next 2 shots, Patrick may have to make a big change. Tommy not ready, didn't like it, heard something.
Yeah, there was some noise in the background. Some guys were warming up several lanes beyond the set, and it was a loud thump that I could hear through my headset right as he was approaching, and that's smart. Yeah, that's a veteran move.
Yep.
When in doubt, pull out.
Yeah, that's just big-time shot-making right there, and you're looking at a former player of the year who said, you know what, I know I got off to a rough start with back-to-back open frames, but I still know how to bowl and I know how to play this game, and I'm going to show you. He steps up and just throws a 5-bagger right in the face of Patrick Allen.
Great decision by Jones to walk away from that initial approach and regroup. And now he is starting to pull away from PA. Big ball change here, and PA talked about it in the break, and he saw what Jones just did, and he says it is time to make a move now.
High road foul?
Yeah, Messenger kicks the 7 late, his 3rd strike of the match, all of them coming on that lane.
And this is what separates professionals from amateurs, where Patrick Allen can make the change with conviction and step up and pure it and still hit the pocket. A lot of times you'll see players that they're hitting the pocket, they can't carry, they go change to another bowling ball, and they lose the pocket altogether. It's an open frame, not Patrick Allen.
So 3 strikes and 4 spares. But all 4 of those spares have been 9 spares. So he is not struggling. He's just not getting the pin carry like you mentioned, Randy.
Stay stagnant.
Now the ball change is to for the right lane, which is very interesting because he was striking on that lane.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Back-to-back jacks for the Hawks.
And Rob, the reason why he changed balls only on the right lane is because he left, in his own words, the kadoink 7. That's the weak 7. He didn't like the way the ball hit on that right lane, so that's why he switched on that right lane only, even though he hasn't struck yet until that shot on the left lane.
Now let's see what that sudden burst by PA does to Tommy Jones, who's working on 5 in a row.
Yep it.
Head on over to PBA.com right now during our telecast to submit your More of What Matters to You fan question, brought to you by the makers of One a Day. Direct your question to anybody on today's show or even Randy in the booth. If your question is selected, call your name on air and you'll hear it live. Tommy Jones, who's had problems with single pin spares all week, able to struggle through that one and knock it down.
I'll tell you what, Tommy Jones could sure use some pain relief from shooting spares. Max scores, Patrick Allen can shoot 238 if he strikes out. Tommy Jones, the best he can shoot, 234.
Jones has never lost to PA on television.
Really good shot there. And you're wondering why Tommy doesn't have the same amount of hip pain when he throws a strike ball. He gets much deeper into the slide so that the knee is, is absorbing the brunt of all of that weight. The spare shot, he's straight-legged, much faster, much more upright. All of a sudden, that load goes into the hip.
Now that head goes down as soon as he releases it. That is fighting through some major discomfort. So back-to-back spares for Jones. And you see the anguish immediately on his face as the hand goes right to that left hip. It's the front of the left hip while he's bowling, almost kind of in a hernia-type spot. But he says when he sleeps, it's more to the side and the back of his hip.
Yeah,
had x-rays, nothing, but it's waiting on an MRI.
Yeah, it almost looked like groin, kind of a groin pull, some type of groin injury, but it's not. It's in the hip.
Oh, that's going to hook a little.
3 in a row for PA. Didn't think he had it, but he'll take the result.
He's going to take a re-rack, I believe, on the left lane. And what a great ball choice that he changed to in the 7th frame.
Come on, man, you got to throw better than that.
He said that one's got to hook a little bit. He did. He gets into the swish zone, throws 3 in a row.
You got to throw better than
now,
that,
a strike here.
Come on.
And good count. He'll lock out Tommy Jones. It'll put him in the 220s, Rob.
Come on.
Talked about an interesting week for PA last week in Las Vegas. Actually had to withdraw with 2 games to go with 3 blisters on his left middle finger. I mean, not 1, not 2, but 3 blisters. And then his buddy Tom Doherty bowling, and he had to sit in the VIP room and watch him stretch to drop 100. PA was cheering for a 99, actually.
Maybe! Yes! Well, we told you at the top of the show how fun these 2 are to watch. Patrick Allen needs good count now. Avoid the big, giant, big 4 splitter, 5 count washout, and he's going to move on. Good count. Look at this ball just rip back, shred the rack. Looks like 3 in a row. The last 3 shots all shredded the rack. 1 good shot away from moving on and taking on PDW.
That was not the shot he needed, and a tough 2-7 is what he leaves.
Yeah, but it's more than enough. 9 out here gives him 225. The best Tommy Jones can shoot 223.
And it's all over but the shout, and PA will move on, take on Pete Weber, but not before picking up that great spare. So the Hoss moves on with the 226. Up next, the wife of the late, great Earl Anthony joins us, plus a poll question around the greatest bowler in PBA history. We welcome you back to Dublin, California, the Earl Anthony Memorial Classic, brought to you by One A Day. And Tommy Jones had a big comeback in the middle of this match, but it wasn't enough as PA found the right ball and moves on with the 3-pin victory. Glad you're back here with us live this week on ESPN2. Last week, we were in Las Vegas for the Tournament Champions. This week, we go a little further west here in Dublin, California, just outside of the San Francisco, Oakland area, where the home where Earl Anthony used to live right now. His name on the marquee of this building. And the PBA on their website this week offered up their choices for the 5 greatest moments in Earl Anthony's career. And here are the top 3 as selected by those who logged on. And there's a lot of moments you could choose from. Was it back in 1982 when he became the first bowler to earn $1 million? Yep, that's what you guys voted on. The second winner was Mike Durbin, beating him in 1983 to win his 6th PBA National Championship. And coming up third, one of those great showdowns with Mark Roth. That was the 4th and final time they met on TV. We go back to our winner where Earl became the first bowler to earn $1 million in career earnings by winning the 82 PBA National Championship. That one came in Toledo, Ohio. He was the tournament leader for that event. That event now known as the PBA World Championship. Again, Earl won 10 majors through his illustrious career. Number 1 all-time, 43 career titles, second most all-time. And 2 years ago, he was voted the greatest bowler in history. Standing by on the lane, Randy Peterson with Earl's wife, Susie.
Thanks, Rob. And Susie, I know there had to be so many great moments, but from that list, I know you voted. What was your best moment?
Well, I looked at the list. 2 of the events were before my time. 2 of them I recalled pretty clearly, so I went with the Mark Roth moment when he beat Mark Roth. I really didn't, I liked Mark Roth. Earl and Mark got along real well, and when Earl bowled Mark, it wasn't, the threat of a loss wasn't as painful as with others, which is why the recollection probably wasn't as strong, and I just wanted to see that again.
Well, that's great. I think that was my favorite moment as well. But what does it mean to you to have the legacy of Earl live on?
Well, Earl, he was huge in the sport. I mean, a lot of us miss him, probably me more than anybody, and it just brings him back. Brings him back for those of us who loved him. He was great, and it just, and for me, the whole week, and, it just makes, for me, it feels like he's still a big part of my life.
Susie, a lot of us think you're great, too. Rob?
Thank you, guys. Wonderful to hear from Susie. Classy lady. Up next, that man, the living legend, Pete Weber, makes his 124th singles TV Finals appearance. The man behind the shades, flexing his pipes, has his sights set on career title number 36. The one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic is brought to you by Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com to watch a free video. Go affordably. Go RVing. By AMF Bowling Gear. See what we've done to the look. You won't believe what it can do for your scores. By KR Strike Force, the bowling bag authority. And by the makers of Bear Aspirin. Expect wonders. So Patrick Allen, your 3 seed, has moved on by 3 pins to take on your 2 seed Pete Weber. Our semifinal match on deck right now at the one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, glad you're with us this Sunday afternoon here on ESPN2. PA, the Hoss, making his first televised appearance of the season. Had a strong start, lost it, and gained it back in the nick of time to win by 3 pins over Tommy Jones. And a strike on that left lane.
Majors, good for 3rd and 2nd on the all-time list from St. Anne, Missouri. PBA Hall of Famer, Pete Weber.
PD Dub does not look like he's 48, and he does not act it either. He is pure theater. Pretty stuff.
I'll tell you where you really feel it, though, when you're 48 is the nerves. And Pete's body's still in pretty good shape, but I'll tell you what, it's the nerves is where it hits you.
Here are some of the guys who have had over 100 career televised appearances. Parker Bone III at 107, Earl Anthony, 114. There's Pete Weber. Today, 124, and your all-time leader, Walter Ray Williams Jr., 172. Only 6 have made a century's worth of appearances.
Walter Ray almost 50 more appearances than Pete Weber.
Back-to-back, the opening jacks for PD Dub.
And nobody on this tour more fun to watch when they get it going than this man right here. And I want you to watch this little love tap right here on the 10. All right, get out of there. He gets a little, gives it a little, yeah. All right, but that's nothing. Wait till you see Pete throw 4 in a row. I think he's got a little message for you, Rob.
It's one of the reasons I showed up with a smile on my face today. Here is PA in the second, trying to match Weber.
Come on, high road.
Allen voted the 44th greatest player in PBA history a couple seasons ago. We're going to scroll underneath right now the list of the other finishers, and Mika Koivu-Nuyemi, who won $250,000 last Saturday, missed the show by one pin this week. Jason Couch, the lefty from Claremont, Florida, had a great run, as well as Parker Bone III. Still haven't seen him or Ronnie Russell this season. Ditto for your 10th finisher, Ryan Schaefer.
It's our first tournament this season where we had multiple left-handers on the telecast, and really the first tournament that stands out to me to where the lefties actually had a breakout week.
The right move? It is, baby, yeah.
Patrick Allen using the same ball on both lanes now. Right move, baby, you betcha. And I'll tell you, Rob, anytime you have a show with Pete Weber, yeah, it's great. But you know what? You sprinkle in a little Patrick Allen and some Tommy Jones. It's a nice mix.
Nothing but strikes thus far in our semifinal match. PA has fascinating inner dialogues that he shares with us. Here is Weber stepping up in the third, down 10.
Come on.
Leadoff triple for the St. Louis Cardinal fan. Take a look at what PD Dub is throwing at the pins today.
Pete Weber going with the Marvel, the hookingest bowling ball for him in the locker room. And he told us, well, you know, I've been working real hard with Brother Rich back home, working on my posture, trying to stand tall and get rid of that early tilt. See, Pete Weber's worn a golf glove on that right hand forever. Protect those fingers. The full stretched fingertip grip of Pete Weber.
Come on.
Weber, the 10-pin shy of a ham bone. He wanted it. He's not the only one in this house who wanted it.
I want you to take a look at the finish of Pete Weber right here. Very uncharacteristic of Pete to come up and out of it. Looks like he slipped a little bit there on that shot. He really liked it, though, off his hand, and only to look at it. Ringing 10-pin, staring him in the face.
First non-strike of this semifinal match.
Yeah, I know you wanted that that 4-bagger really bad, Rob. But
a what?
The 4-bagger, the 4 in a row, the quad. I know you wanted that really bad, but you're going to have to wait, sir. Well, he said he had some struggles this week with spares, and it was because he drilled a new spare ball this week.
I was worried about that one.
Said the 3-6-10 was the spare problem that he really had and has always had. Now here's PA sitting on a triple, ready to drop a 4-bagger here in the semifinals. Waiting in the wings, your 1 seed, Ryan Ciminelli. Second ham bone of the afternoon for the Hoss. Patrick Allen, ESPN is your home court of college hoops. Big Monday doubleheader on ESPN at 7. It's Big East Showdown. Louisville almost pulled an upset at UConn yesterday. They take down Georgetown, who had a big win. And then at 9 Eastern, Jordan Hamilton and the Longhorns taking on Texas A&M. Big Monday presented by Bud Light on ESPN. And both those games also available online at ESPN3.com. And on your phone. Allen to begin the 5th. He has been perfect thus far.
Solid 8-pin for Patrick Allen. The bowling ball goes right past that.
It's known as a stone 8.
As in, he got robbed by the stone 8.
Now, somebody gave me a sign today here that said, can you please start saying stone 8? I don't get many opportunities, so there it is.
That certainly was one of them. And I was going to say, Patrick Allen's been navigating his way through this oil pattern very nicely today, changing bowling balls, but not only that, just making quality shots.
Pocket has been his friend today.
And Rob, you just don't see him throwing it all over the building. I mean, he's making great quality shots.
Had a 226, dropping 6 strikes, including 4 in a row in his match 1 victory over Tommy Jones. Now he's taking on Pete Weber, who he's defeated twice in their previous TV encounters. Here's how PD Dub got here. This is his 4th top 20 finish of the season, and this is his best result of this campaign. He's been 17th twice up until now. Did not like it at all.
Let it go.
Well, and you talked about Pete not wanting to shoot the 3-6-10. Well, you got to add the 9-pin now, and it makes it even that much tougher because of the back pin. And Pete just looked hesitant on this shot. He grabbed it and never gave it room to the right. And right now in trouble. Trying to avoid the open frame.
Oof.
God. That's not good.
Yeah, especially when his opponent started with the front 4. Weber behind the 8 ball now. And that deficit just went. Was 26 before the open frame. Excuse me.
Needs a strike here in the 6th. And he'll get it! That close to a 7-10. He'll take the scrappy drop. And gets a little momentum back on his side. And the crowd to boot. Flexing the guns as PD Dub. Down goes the 7, down goes the 10. How much longer will the 48-year-old be out on the tour? We'll tell you when we return for the conclusion of a semifinal match with PA.
Big money.
Welcome back, everyone, to Dublin, California. Randy Peterson, Rob Stone, the Earl Anthony Memorial Classic. Hey, you know what? Let's take a look at the Bayer Trusted Pain Relief Replay, brought to you by the makers of Bayer Aspirin. Pete Weber coming off an open frame just when it looked like a possible 7-10 split. Pete says no. Let me give you this little chop, and I'll take that strike in the 6th.
A huge moment in this match as things were starting to slip away from Weber. He went spare open frame in the 4th and the 5th. This was coming after Allen opened up with a 4-bagger. Now here is PA trying to get back on the strike train to close out the 6th. Still comfortably in control, but let's keep an eye on how he reacts.
You said 4-bagger.
Every once in a while I let that slip out for the old timers. No messenger to take care of the 7.
Little late pop on the back part of the lane on that shot there. That caused the ball to come in a little bit late, a little bit behind the head pin, and Patrick Allen leaves the corner.
Come on. Come on, Slick.
Back-to-back 9 spares for PA.
You gotta stay behind it.
Next Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday on ESPN, 4 Eastern. Yes, Lil Wayne. Yes, is going to be with us. Nelly, Reggie Bush, and Chris Paul. The Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational. It was taped a couple weeks ago in New Orleans, and we had fun.
Yes, we did.
It's going to be a very enjoyable telecast. You are going to enjoy it as well, live on ESPN at 4 o'clock. PD Dub was there. PA is here as we begin the 7th.
Maybe.
Maybe. One of my favorite lines in all of bowling. PA's maybe.
It's just great television. It's great to watch. Not only Pete Weber, but that man right there. Let's see if Pete Weber can get one off his hand on this right lane and double up to cut the deficit to 15. A strike in the 7th and 8th. He'll only trail by 5.
Back-to-back jacks.
Well, he pried
For the
that one
native
off
of
beautifully.
St. Anne, Missouri. He sure did. Now, Pete Weber, third all-time with 35 career Lumber Liquidator PBA Tour titles. And, Randy, they have been spread out. The 80s, he took home 13. 11 in the 90s. 10 in the 2000s. Just one. We're early.
It's early.
We're early in this decade. We asked Pete yesterday, how much longer are you going to bowl? He's going to be 49 in August. And he said, as long as there is an exempt tour and as long as I'm exempt, I'll be here. Which is good news for a lot of people.
Hard to imagine this tour without Pete Weber.
Hallelujah.
Oh, got a hook. Got a hook. Hook. Dang it. I think I threw it that bad.
Well, he puts a great touch on this just to get it back to the pocket, but because it drifts so far past that head pin, see how it comes in late behind it. He's going to leave a corner pin every time doing that, but got no love, no kick off the sidewall. Pete Weber now trailing by 16 with a spare here in the 8th frame. Patrick Allen in the driver's seat.
And again, PA has not missed the pocket all afternoon.
I thought that was a little better than that.
So Allen steps up. He took care of Tommy Jones in match number 1, 226 to 223.
Stay stagnant, man. Just like Tuesday. Just like Tuesday, man. Come on. Just like Tuesday. Come on. Just like Tuesday.
Well, it's the first time we've seen that from him today, Rob, where he throws a shot, doesn't like it. As soon as it leaves his hand, goes through the nose, leaves a 2-4-7. Little grab left of right of target. It's got no chance of holding line. But again, working on a strike, it's very important. If he covers a spare here, he doesn't lose pin count. If he was on a spare, obviously, he would have lost 3.
Big pickup by PA. Head on over to PBA.com right now. Check out all the great merchandise and apparel that's available on their online store. T-shirts, polos, hats, hoodies, retro shirts, bowling towels, and more. Simply click on the shop tab at PBA.com. I made a big purchase earlier today over at the merchandise table over there. I'm still waiting for my discount, which I don't think I got.
Hope you get your credit card back. If not, I'm going to use it.
People are feasting on my Amex already, huh? We begin the foundation frame 9th with Allen off a spare. Wow. Trow is right. What has happened to Hoss?
2-6-10, and it couldn't have happened at a worse time for Patrick Allen. Cuts right through the nose. A nice break would have been to trip that 2-pin out. Instead, he's faced himself with a dilemma. Does he try to convert, or does he try and just take out the 6 and the 10 and stay ahead in the count game?
What would you do?
Well, that would put him at 193
Shooter.
He could strike out for 223. The best Weber can shoot, however, though, 232. I think at this point, he's got to try to convert it. Nope. All right, well, they're tied. Excuse me, Patrick Allen still leading by 1 in the count department. However, now it's at 223. Pete Weber, and he's in control of his own destiny. Now he can strike out 232, but it starts right here with the first strike in the 9th frame. Boy, that just wasn't a good shot. I think it was probably because of the shot he threw on the left lane where he got it wide. He tried to go a little straighter and tighter with that, went through it with a little loft, and it was just too straight up the front part of the lane.
So Weber leaves the 4-pin on this shot, and this is becoming a case, Randy, here from the 8th frame on, where neither guy really wants to seize this one.
Right now, the best Weber could shoot 221. Remember, Patrick Allen could still shoot
a little bit better than that, Pete.
He can still shoot 223. The last 2 shots that Patrick Allen has thrown have both gone through the nose. Pete Weber's last 2 shots, 10-pin, 4-pin.
A pressure-filled 10th frame on deck right now. Weber down 2, working a spare. Right of target. Not the time for that.
That's kind of close.
Well, just a bad shot, and Pete will be the first one to tell you now.
I knew I wanted to throw it right, but not quite that far.
Exactly. Now he leaves himself the rail, the 1-2-4-7, and with a spare and a strike, he's only going to be able to shoot 207. That means that Patrick Allen, with any kind of market and good count in the 10th frame, will bowl for the title.
So Weber able to cover that one. The rail?
I knew there was
Rail.
an out of bounds.
I like that.
I didn't want to hit it, though.
You know, we talked about this when we saw the Know the Woods segment and how the players try to manipulate
try.
the end of the pattern. And for Weber, it was that axis rotation, that axis tilt that would get his ball to read when he missed a little bit to the right. That shot just way too far right. There's a good one.
Don't throw it like that.
And leaves the 7. Will that be it for Pete Weber today? He will sit down with a 206 and see what Patrick Allen can do.
Patrick needs a mark and 4, and he's going to bowl for the title. Patrick Allen looking to become 14-time winner.
Stay loose. Stay loose. Stay loose. Stay loose. Stay loose.
Needs to pick this one up and then get 4 pins.
And real easy to chop this spare, chop the 2 off the 4. Patrick Allen's a great spare shooter. Right now, again, he needs to make this and then 4 on the shot afterward.
You got to stay behind it, man.
Last 3 shots went through the nose, and that's what happens when he gets around it.
You got to stay behind it. Come on. Stay behind it. Come on, stay behind it.
Oh, chop it.
Ooh. No chop,
Man.
but awfully close.
You have no idea how close that was. I mean, he could have chopped the 2 straight back off the 4 there. Very, very fortunate.
Now needs just 4 pins
Gotta
to
hit the
move
one in the
on
front, right?
to the title match.
I mean, if you want a diagram of how to chop the 2 off the 4, that was it.
Oh, it's Jesus. And the Hoss moves on. An all-lefty final on deck. But before we hit our title match, we'll reflect back on last Saturday's wild day in Las Vegas. A Hall of Fame ceremony, a 100 game, a $299 from that man, plus $250,000 put in Mika Koivuniemi's bank account. All that when we return to the PBA on ESPN. I'd like to give our thanks to that gentleman, Ted Hoffman, the proprietor here at Earl Anthony's Dublin Bowl, also a PBA Hall of Famer and just one of the great guys in the bowling community. NBA action coming your way tonight. Deron Williams and the Utah Jazz taking on the Golden State Warriors. NBA Sunday on ESPN, 10 Eastern. This game also available online over at ESPN3.com and on your telephone. Rob Stone, joined by newly inducted PBA Hall of Fame member Randy Peterson. Show him the ring. It looks good. He makes me kiss it now every time I see him. It sets up for some awkward moments. Nothing awkward, though, about last Saturday in Las Vegas. The Tournament of Champions, the Hall of Fame induction. What a crazy TV show, and one that's certainly going to go down in history for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah, it was. I'm still having my TFC withdrawals, but what a tournament, what a week. But anytime you see players bowling for life-changing money, you just never really know how they're going to handle the nerves. And I thought, honestly, all the players performed brilliantly.
Well, Mika Koivuniemi came in with some great momentum. We had a feeling the week before the PBA World Championship that he was on to something, and he won his first match, taking down Andre Gomez by 4 pins. So he moves on to take on Tom Doherty, the number 2 seed, and Doherty struggled, and here he is in the 10th, needing 2 pins for 100, and let's celebrate.
And when I said brilliantly, all players performed brilliantly, he was great. He was very gracious in defeat, only bowling 100.
Handled it well. Here's Koivuniemi, perfect game in the 10th, needing one more for a 300 game on television. Messenger nestles, but not enough juice to drop it. So Mika with the 299, but the good news, he was able to move on to the title match to take on Tom Smallwood.
And he was just flawless in the title match. Tom Smallwood had to go with weaker equipment, didn't really like his ball reaction or look very well. You see how that ball just labored down the lane. And boy, you could see the writing on the wall for Mika Koivuniemi, just gift wrapped for him. $250,000 in his 3rd major.
A 269 wins it, and here's Mika on the week that was in Vegas.
It was great week. It's the biggest tournament in my life, and I ended up winning it. So I think really sucking a couple of days later, and a lot of people calling and asking how you feel, and I start to feel really good.
And again, Mika carrying that over by missing this week's show by 1 pin, maybe that same pin that he missed to get a 300 game. After that, as if that wasn't enough, was the PBA Hall of Fame induction where this guy was inducted. But first, Len Nicholson brought up, Dale Eagle, memorable speeches across the board. And there is Randy Peterson being inducted on Sunday, and a moment that still really hasn't left you.
It hasn't, and it won't forever. Just a tremendous honor. I still get choked up, just thinking about what a wonderful night that was for not only for myself but my family, my TV family, my PBA family. It was wonderful to be able to share that with everyone.
And the beauty is we have the pictures to prove.
Yes, we do.
That was a great assortment of pictures that your lovely wife Becky handed on over to me. I appreciate it. Well, while we're on the theme of the Hall of Fame, that's where our more of what matters to you fan question, brought to you by the makers of One A Day, goes. And it goes to you from Anthony in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. At what point in your career, Randy, did you realize becoming a Hall of Famer was a possibility?
Well, I think certainly after I won my last title in 2002, the Pepsi Open, they gave me 13 in one major. I pretty much felt like I was locked. But I think the number that kind of gives you the idea that you have the golden ticket is 10 titles. And it was a couple of years back when I'd won 10 titles, and once I got to that plateau, I kind of figured I had a good chance of getting in. But, when you get to 13 in one major, it's pretty much just a matter of time or how long you're going to have to wait to get in. But quite honestly, for me, it didn't matter how long I'm in. I'm in the history books forever. And, again, it's just something that will always stay with me and my family and my friends, and just a tremendous honor.
Congratulations,
Thank
my
you.
friend. I love saying Hall of Famer. It's fun. It's fun. Well, one Hall of Famer to be is up next, and another one maybe down the road. 24-year-old Ryan Ciminelli has been a runner-up on the tour twice. Next up for the Buffalo native, a shot at his first tour title. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, welcoming you back to our live coverage of the one-a-day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic. Patrick Allen, a pair of tight wins, and he has moved on to the title match to take on Ryan Ciminelli. Time now for our Geico Championship recap. Randall?
You got it, Rob. Match number 1 featured Tommy Jones, Patrick Allen. You see the pain Tommy Jones has to endure on a weekly basis. Here's some more pain delivered by Patrick Allen. First strike in the 10th frame. Sealed the deal. And in match number 2, Patrick Allen takes on PDW, Pete Weber. Pete gets up in the 10th frame looking to put some pressure on Patrick Allen. Instead, he has to wave goodbye to a shot that was wide right. Patrick Allen needs to make that spare there. Almost chops it, but he advances to the title match.
And time now for that title match uninterrupted.
Second place finishes last season in 3 televised appearances from Cheektowaga, New York, the Ryan Express. Ryan Ciminelli.
This is Ciminelli's 4th career TV singles appearance. Twice was a runner-up at last season's World Series of Bowling. Improved all week from 11th after round 1 of qualifying to 10th, 6th, and now here he sits as the number 1 seed. Yeah, great start. He just blew up that rack. A pair of lefties here in the title match. Something that you talked about, Randy. You thought lefties would have success today.
Yeah, and it's proven to go in that direction, that they're able to play that outside line. It stays there a little bit longer, less friction on the left side. And so the way the two left-handers broke down this TV pair in practice really was the undoing of the righties. That and a couple of errant shots by Weber and Tommy Jones. Remember Tommy started his match against PA with back-to-back open frames.
PA gets the 7 to kick, and Allen telling us yesterday the last year and a half he was starting to feel that maybe his level was beginning to slip. Maybe he didn't quite belong at the level that he used to hold, and this week he felt he was back in a better place. The game has evolved so much, hard to keep up with these high rev rate guys, but when you have the experience of a guy like Patrick Allen checking in at 40 years of age and 12 years on the tour, there's a lot to be said for that. A lot of pins that run with that type of resume.
Winning cures a lot of ailments in any sport, and Patrick Allen looking to join an elite group with a win today. He will be a 14-time titleist, joining Mike Durbin, Dave Husted, Johnny Petraglia, Jim Stefanich, all Hall of Famers.
Lay there.
2-4-7 lead for PA.
And so the issue that Patrick is going to have in this match, folks, is that now he has to deal with the extremely high rev rate of Ryan Ciminelli and how that is going to change or break down the old pattern on the left side of the lane.
Well, remember, PA made a huge ball change in match number 1, which helped carry him through that game to get the win. He knows how to play. He knows how to be resourceful. And he knows
That's
how
how
to
you're
cover.
supposed to make that spare.
So strike spare for PA. And now here's Ryan Ciminelli from the Buffalo, New York area, Cheektowaga, which is a future stop on the PBA Tour. Trying to win his first ever Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title. He ended last season in the top 20 in earnings and points and top 10 in average. Back-to-back opening jacks for Ciminelli, and now it's time for the Just for Men Live Forward keys to victory. Randy?
Well, for Ryan Ciminelli, it's pretty simple. He's got to keep his head on straight. He's got to think the right thoughts mentally, manage his nerves, and the other is speed control. He is a high-rev, high-power, high-speed kind of guy. The only time that I can remember him making bad shots is when he got over-jacked and he threw the ball too hard and it blew through the end of the pattern. Keep his emotions in check, keep his speed where it needs to be so the ball reads properly.
Get up! Get! Go! Early indications are he's in a good place today.
Right, now just manage the nerves, don't get too jacked. Continuing to make those kind of shots. Easier said than done. Tremendous amount of revolutions in hand. We normally see Ryan on the telecast throwing urethane because of that extremely high rev rate. This week was able to use reactive equipment. Patrick Allen must call upon all of his experience.
Come on, man.
To try and figure out a way
Chris Carter
to beat Ryan Ciminelli, the high-rev, high-powered youngster looking to win his first title. Patrick has to stay ahead of the breakdown, stay ahead of the moves. He's got to bowl a perfect game.
Good. Remains clean. Strike, spare for PA.
felt nice. Felt nice. Come on, man.
It's fun listening to him.
It
isn't
is. I mean, some of the stuff that, all the self-talk, and I love it. A lot of players do that on the inside. PA does it on the outside.
Come on. Tuesday. Maybe.
Keeps reflecting back to Tuesday, which was a positive day for him here at the lanes, and trying to bring that back, and here he is back on the strike train.
Right, and that's just a great break right there, tripping the 6-9 out. And you could see the high rev rate of Ryan Ciminelli breaking the oil pattern down. Patrick Allen needs to stay one step ahead of the breakdown and continue to chase the oil pattern to the right or center part of the lane.
Now watch how fast this ball goes to the pocket.
Come on.
Leaves the 7-pin.
Boy, and with a rev rate that high, the last thing you would think Ryan Ciminelli would leave would be a weak 7, but a really good shot nonetheless, keeping it in the zone, on line, and another pocket shot.
Take a look now at the arsenal that Ryan has with him today for our title match.
Going with a world beater, the strongest bowling ball in his arsenal. And a lot of that, again, being the length, 40-foot oil pattern, and also that speed and rev rate. He needs something that's going to grab a hold of that lane surface.
Push. Okay. Okay. Come on.
And again, Rob, anytime you hear a player yell push, it's inside of target, and they're trying to get it, or trying to coax it into holding line. And again, that could have been disastrous, especially with that kind of speed and revs. his shot going through the nose could prove to be an ugly, ugly split. Instead, it's just a 6-pin.
You talk about disastrous. That was the start of the season for Ciminelli. Takes care of that single pin. He had 3 finishes in the 100s. This, though, his second top 20 of the season. That first top 20 was last week, 14th at the TOC. He said he really felt like he was coming around in a better place mentally as well. Number 1 seeds has been nothing of a guarantee.
Yeah, I was just going to say the only problem is as the number 1 seed, they're only at 2-9 in 11 events. So not always the best position to be in. The most enviable, but not always the best.
Right through the nose there a little bit for the Haas.
Well, he just didn't make a good shot there and goes through the nose, leaving the 2-4-7. Patrick needs to make a move, in my opinion. I think he needs to open the lane up just a little bit.
Difference, man. That's all it is. Square it up.
The good thing is he's on a strike, so he doesn't lose count if he converts here.
PA takes care of the 2-4-7. Time to fire up the old RV. And hit the road next week in New Orleans. Make that in 2 weeks. We'll be in Reno for the Bear USBC Masters live on ESPN Sunday, February 13th, 3 p.m. Eastern, the 3rd major of the season. Back to live action as we begin the 6th. Just 2 strikes thus far for Allen, but he's only down 19. Ciminelli started with a 3-bagger, since then a pair of single-pin spare conversions.
Wow, maybe. All right, good shot.
Yeah, Patrick is a little surprised at that ball going high, but again, that's all about what Ryan Ciminelli is doing to the left side of the oil pattern. Still a tight match. It's just 20 pins. But what's troubling, Rob, is that Patrick Allen really has lost the pocket. Ryan Ciminelli has not.
A win today for Ciminelli. He would be the 3rd first-time winner on the tour this season. Scott Norton and Young Jin Koo winning earlier this campaign.
Good shot. Good shot. Yeah.
That's a drop and give me 10. I mean, he is pounding the rack.
This could be the shot of the game. Come on.
I want you to watch this follow through. See how it goes in front of his face. We see that a lot over the last couple of seasons with the new power players, the young power players. You see it in the Michael Fagan. You see it in the two-handed styles of Jason Belmonte and Oscar Palermo. Anytime you see the big, high rev, high power guys, you're going to see a lot of those follow-throughs going in front of the face.
Come on, baby! Yeah! Let's go!
It is going to be tough for PA to find his way on top this match.
Well, if you're Ryan Ciminelli, it's all you can do right now just to control yourself. You know that you've got a great command of hitting the pocket. You know that your opponent can't hit the pocket. It's just a matter of pin carry and making good shots.
May just be a matter of time. Messenger nestles up on the backside, unable to drop all 10. He really needed a strike there.
Yeah, Patrick Allen's in big trouble. Time for a ball change, angle change, and start to maybe open up the lane a little bit.
Not enough. Not enough. Not enough.
Just too weak down the lane.
that one in. Get your bowling fix next Sunday on ESPN from 4 to 5:30 p.m. Eastern. It's the Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational. Reggie Bush, Nelly, Lil Wayne, Pete Weber, Norm Duke, Jason Belmonte, and Chris Paul all there. Coverage begins Super Bowl Sunday at 4 Eastern on ESPN. Belmonte and Paul, your defending champs. Here is Patrick Allen beginning the 8th, down 31. You can see he can only max out at 227.
You know, Rob, he was so good at managing ball reaction, making the right ball changes early on. We saw it against Tommy Jones in the first match. And then towards the end of the Pete Weber match, he started to lose pocket and has never really recovered. His max score now 216. His opponent, Ryan Ciminelli, is already in the 220s.
Just 2 strikes here in the title match for Allen. Ciminelli closing in on his first ever Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title.
What do you say? Yeah, baby!
Mom Janet, Dad Angelo, Aunt Jody, all watching back in Cheektowaga, and they are celebrating, and I'm willing to bet there may be a few tears getting ready to come on out.
What do you say? Yeah, baby!
Well, and thus far, just a flawless performance by Ryan Ciminelli. 6 strikes, 2 9 spares. The 2 9 spares were a 7-pin in the 4th, a 6-pin in the 5th. He has not missed pocket, just making brilliant shots. And that's all he really needs to do right now, Rob, is to stay clean. He's in the 230s. All he needs is marks here on out.
6-pin shy of a 4-bagger there.
I'm sorry, a mark here, and it's all but over, because even if he opens in the 10th frame, he'll be in the 220s. There you go.
Takes care of it.
Ryan Ciminelli's going to bowl the Tournament of Champions next year as a winner on the national tour. He's going to win his first title.
PA keeping that sliver of hope alive with the strike.
And you see that wry smile there. It's like, okay, well, this adjustment finally worked, or I threw it better.
My goal today was to break 100 every game.
Well, shout out to his Tampa buddy, Tom Doherty.
Thank you. I did it.
Again, PA was cheering for a 99 last week for Doherty.
He thought that it would be better if it was just a double-digit number, and if Mika beat him by 200.
A little more memorable, I guess, double-digit.
I'll tell you what, Tom Doherty handled that beautifully, did he not?
I shoot 200?
As well as anybody could. Yeah!
Got 200 every game.
Well,
I got 200 every game.
It's a little late for the trip 6 double. Patrick Allen now in the 200s. 2 more will give him 216.
No.
Where was this in frames 5 through 8?
I think, you know, Rob, and Patrick Allen's a great bowler. I don't think he moved deep enough, fast enough. And it just looks like now he's playing a little bit more in the center part of the lane.
Great to bowl with you guys today. It was awesome. I love it. You guys are awesome.
I think he just stayed too close to where Ryan Ciminelli's
Hopefully we
playing.
get to come back next year.
But it's great to see Patrick bowling well again and back on television.
Ciminelli needing just 5 pins
Come on.
for his first tour title.
Stay behind the foul line. Keep it on the lane.
Fellow Southpaw PA cheering for him from behind. Cheektowaga, get ready to celebrate. Ryan Ciminelli, say hello to your first tour title.
Thank you, Dublin. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. That's how we do it, baby. That's how we...
I love you, man. Talking about kid.
Good work, man.
Mom, Dad, that was for you. That was for you. Everybody back home, I love you guys.
Shout out to Janet and Angelo, his parents, back in Cheektowaga. Tour title, #1 for the Southpaw from Cheektowaga, Ryan Ciminelli, wins the tournament named after the legendary Earl Anthony. The One-A-Day Earl Anthony Memorial Classic is brought to you by the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. By Just for Men Hair Color, Live Forward. By Barbazol, start your day with Barbazol Shaving Cream. And by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. The young man who grew up emulating Parker Bone III finally gets to press lips with the PBA Tour title. Ryan Ciminelli, the young man from outside of Buffalo, getting his first Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour title. We asked him yesterday what it would mean. He would go on to say, it represents my spot out here. The last 20 years of hard work have not been for nothing. Next week, the Chris Paul PBA Celebrity Invitational at 4 Eastern over on ESPN. Before the big game, Reggie Bush, Nelly, Lil Wayne, Chris Paul will be there. Ryan Ciminelli, the 24-year-old from Cheektowaga, New York, claims his first ever tour title. For Randy Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. So long from Dublin.